a couple traveling on a dusty road in Pennsylvania comes into a creature that astounds them. Experiencing unexpected moments of surprise and adventures might make traveling much more enjoyable. However, what if one of these experiences results in something that has the power to alter someone's life? What if a typical journey might lead to an entirely unique one? Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. One such occurrence had a couple traveling through Pennsylvania on a rural road when they encountered something unexpected that may have permanently altered their lives. That Memorial Day was the final one. The sun was at its height. After a demanding week, Danielle and Bobby hadn't taken a vacation from their busy life in a long time. Even though they had been apart for 4 years, they continued to find time for their children and dogs in addition to each other despite their busy schedules. If nothing else, Danielle Finley and Bobby Williams had a passion for animals. They had a few pets at home and enjoyed being among animals. Up until that day, when everything changed drastically, caring for these dogs and children had become their life's ambition. They have a lifelong affection for animals. Their passion of animals had only grown over the years, since they now had 3 dogs at home and were involved in several animal rescue initiatives in and around the town. They frequently brought their children along when they visited the town's stray dwellings, and they even actively encouraged their children to participate in the same. Regardless of how many others admired their partnership, only the two of them understood that it's never simple to move in together, but it may be challenging to manage later. Given that they also had a kid to care for, this was undoubtedly a difficult decision, but Bobby's unwavering support made it a bit easier. In the modern world, a partner is indispensable. Even if they have money, they still need a partner since they are inseparable. You require a shoulder to weep on as well as someone with whom to share your joy. It's not difficult to find a partner, but maintaining and controlling one is no easier than solving a challenging jigsaw, and the pair clearly understood this. Thus, in order to keep a good balance between their personal and professional life, they used to schedule their travels more frequently. Whatever the case, they sought to catch up on everyone's lives while spending some quality time with their children and dogs. For Danielle and Bobby, it was an ordinary day, but they may not have realized that it would usher in an unexpected journey that would alter their entire existence. Everything for that day had been prearranged. Bobby, Danielle, the children, and the animals were all looking forward to the vacation. It was, after all, what they had always desired, to be together. Danielle had previously prepared snacks and lunch. The sun was shining, yet the heat was not unbearable. As soon as morning dawned, they drove as patriotic music played in the background. The mother was narrating to the children tales of heroes who gave their lives to defend the nation from adversaries. To honor the fallen warriors, the couple went to the cemetery with their children and dogs. The account of their martyrdom was related to them. The children and the dogs walked about the cemetery for a bit, examining objects in their immediate vicinity. They spent hours driving and seeing different locations before leaving for home at lunchtime. Everyone wanted a break after the exhausting voyage. They made their annual pilgrimage to the cemeteries, but was it simply another Memorial Day that year? Or was there anything more noteworthy in store for them when they returned home? As they drove back home across rural Pennsylvania, it was getting close to midday. It was a joyful occasion as Danielle and her daughter were singing some old tunes, and even the dogs were attempting to mimic the beat with their barking. Their vitality was at its maximum point, and not even the scorching sun could sap it away despite the sweltering conditions outside. The dogs barked in shock and fright, and the children sprang anytime they saw an animal. They attempted to drive as slowly as a snail to avoid running into the area they were passing through, which was thought to be the home of specific terrestrial species. Since they both loved animals, they shared concerns about the same thing. Little did they realize, though, that on this restorative journey, they would encounter someone who would, years later, transform their lives forever. The road was uneven, and except from a few straggling animals, it was completely abandoned. As the automobile passed, the squirrels let out a cry. But was it a protest against the car itself, or was there someone else hidden in the bushes? Bobby abruptly stopped the automobile as he noticed several animals unexpectedly in front of it. As predicted, they waited for the animal to go past, but instead it stopped in the middle of the road. When the dust settled and they could clearly see what was in front of them, they were shocked. The couple's jaws were hanging open as they attempted to decipher what they were truly seeing. For once, not blinking. Their children's cry from the rear of the car was what brought them back to reality. Before responding to the problem, they made an effort to calm the children down. If not truly terrifying to look at, the thing that stood in front of them was. Although it was little in stature, it occasionally had crooked hair patches. Its dilated pupils were visible in its coal-black eyes. The pair exchanged shocked looks with one another. That strange tiny thing in front of them, what was it? Since the animal remained in place, people started speculating about what it may be. They could only come up with one name for it because of its hideous look caused by the strange hair patches all over its body. Was that a hyena or the chupacabra, a beast from folklore? When Bobby pronounced the two names out loud, they were confused. Danielle thought the same thing, but she dismissed the idea. She turned to face Bobby and stated, "I'm pretty sure that creature couldn't be a hyena." Though she could see the parallels, it was difficult for her to believe that such a carnivorous animal could exist there. When they had exhausted all other options for finding the answers, they finally got out of the automobile. The dogs gazed out the window unblinking, but the children cowered beneath the chairs, afraid to see outside. Though they had stepped out, the couple was afraid that the animal may strike in self-defense as they set foot on the sandy road. Rather, they were taken aback when the animal began to walk placidly toward them. Tears rolled down its cheeks from what looked to be a new moon's nighttime eyes. Was the wailing coming from a lone hyena that had lost its way and become separated from its group? Carnivorous in nature, hyenas may be found mostly in grasslands, savannas, woods, forest borders, and sub-desert regions. They are discovered to be more like cats, despite frequently being equated to wild dogs. Based on where they live, hyenas can be classified as brown, spotted, aardwolf, or striped, depending on their kind. Spotted hyenas are often the most common species. They weigh between 80 and 190 pounds and reach a maximum height of 5.9 feet. Like the animal in front of the pair, they both have coats that are typically sandy, yellow, or gray in hue. However, Danielle could not accept that the helpless animal was in fact a carnivorous. What then was it if it wasn't the predator? The pair was shocked to see that what they had assumed to be a dangerous, predatory beast was actually a scared Cairn Terrier dog after taking a closer look at the animal. The dog was dancing joyfully around Danielle as the pair looked down on him, and they knew they had to bring him with them. However, the issue remained. Who had abandoned it in that desolate location, or what was this little creature doing on its own? Danielle hurried to the rear of the car, grabbed some kibble, and set it down because the dog appeared to be both underweight and starving. It was picked up from the ground by the dog, but was the dog receiving enough food? They were concerned that the dog may have mange because it appeared to be afflicted with a certain skin condition. In addition to being underweight, the dog's health made it clear that he had alopecia, which is why there were uneven patches of hair all over his body. In case the illness spread, the pair was terrified to touch the animal. Their conversations on what to do with the dog were non-stop. They knew for sure that they couldn't leave the dog to perish alone on this desolate road. However, they were also concerned that the dog may have any communicable illnesses. Disregarding any potential complications, Danielle picked up the dog and placed it on the back seat of the vehicle, still anxious about the other dog's reaction. She was shocked to see that they welcomed the dog right away and that it didn't even bark at them. Bobby connected with the dog right away. The dog curled into Bobby's arms as he caressed its head. Bobby gave the dog the name Phil. There was something so loving in its eyes that he wanted it to stay with them wherever they slept instead of letting it go. The kids were thrilled to see the dog when they got home, but the couple didn't know about the illness, so they were told to keep their distance. The pair was filled with a great deal of anxiety about what lay ahead of them the next day. They were afraid the entire night. They finally realized that day wouldn't be easy for either of them as daylight broke. They scheduled a visit as soon as possible at the veterinarian's office. They came early, loading the dog into the car. They were relieved to see the doctor as soon as they walked inside the veterinary clinic. The couple's hearts were in their mouths as the veterinarian brought the dog inside. It seemed like an hour every minute. They could only wait even if they didn't want any of their presumptions to come true. They hurried to the doctor once the veterinarian left. Clearly, the poor dog had some sort of skin condition that it may have gotten from the filthy housing he had been residing in. The good news, though, was that the dog didn't have the mange they were worried about. The veterinarian predicted that the dog will recuperate from the illness to some extent, if not completely, but there was a possibility that his hair would not grow normally like that of other dogs. Phil had a very serious skin condition from being out in the elements, according to Finley's explanation. The poor conditions the dog had been living in had also caused him to suffer from malnourishment. However, the unanswered issue remained. How did the dog get there? The vet claims that although the unfortunate dog had a home at first, his owner must have abandoned him when his health issues became intolerable, leaving him to battle his destiny on his own. They looked everywhere but were unable to locate the owner. They understood it would be challenging to locate Phil a new home due to his health when they attempted. Upon closer inspection, the veterinarian and the couple realized that the unfortunate dog had come from an abusive household and had likely spent a significant amount of time in kennels. They want for no such incident to occur in the future. How could they, who were also dog lovers, let Phil go to some stranger who may subject him to terrible trauma once more? They reasoned that because they could already have 3 pets, why not add one more? Therefore, they adopted Phil right away. They knew Phil couldn't be like other dogs because of the abuse he had experienced in the past, even before the sickness was discovered. However, his condition may be controlled, and the uneven patches might be filled in somewhat with medication and a healthy diet. Phil was put on a new diet by the vet, and soon after, there were notable changes. Phil, according to Finley, began getting peach fuzz everywhere. In most of the crooked areas, he grew his hair back. Even though they knew Phil would never have evenly distributed hair, the procedure was still going on. Because of this, some people think Phil could belong to a hairless breed, which explains why the dog appears a little strange. The dog has been a part of the family since the day he arrived, so even though he is an animal, he understands the advantages the couple has given him. Every time he looks up at them, Finley notices that there is a look of thankfulness in his eyes, as though he struggles to believe that he has a cozy place to lie down every day. Phil always looks about with that look in his eyes, and it's not just thankfulness. He seems happy and excited to be with his new siblings. Phil gets along well with his siblings, but he has a particular affinity with Lily, an elderly Boston Terrier. They may constantly be found cuddling close to one another. You can almost always find them squeezed up together, Finley stated. Phil is a snuggle bug who enjoys spending time with his family. The weeks stretched into months and Phil's hair started to come in, and the dog they had rescued, who had been hairless, suddenly had fur all over his body, if unevenly. Despite the fact that they will undoubtedly face ridicule, the pair has decided to nurture him. The small dog has become well known because to what began as an Instagram rescue effort. Originally, the pair would post to ask questions about Phil's long-lost owner, but the dog quickly gained popularity on the internet. People remark and inquire on his progress and current state of well-being. This dog has a bio on Instagram as well as an account which says, "My name is Phil." Because he was found on a dirt road, he went by the account handle dirt_road_Phil. I was an abandoned cairn terrier until my humans rescued me off a dirt road in upstate PA. There are several puppy mills in rural Pennsylvania, where the poor circumstances of the puppies, including inadequate ventilation and terrible food, are maintained. From there, the dog had probably been adopted, or he had run off on his own. However, the couple's discovery of the dog was entirely fortunate. The tiny dog had endured a great deal, including living in abhorrent puppy mills with a pitiful diet and no air conditioning, being given to an abusive and uncaring owner and eventually finding a cozy home. Is every dog that fortunate, though? Phil was one of the fortunate dogs to find a comfortable and loving home with a family. Not every dog is lucky enough to come across these folks when it's meandering over desolate, uneven roads. Neither can the pair accommodate every dog. Still, Phil is having the time of his life and becoming stronger and furrier every day, while Danielle and Bobby are doing everything they can to assist these pets. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.